In Hong Kong, it's business as usual in the financial district following the removal and arrest of hundreds of pro-democracy protesters. Police officers armed with chainsaws and bolt cutters demolished the camp outside the government headquarters, which had been the heart of the campaign. However, as Paul Chapman reports, some defiant protesters remain.
City scene, but this area outside the Hong Kong government headquarters was, until Thursday, at the heart of the pro-democracy occupation. On Friday, traffic and pedestrians were back on the move. Some heading to work had mixed feelings about the activists' forced departure.
As a civil servant, one of the staff working here, I really cannot say too much from a political point of view, but personally, what they are fighting for is good over the long haul.
Police arrested more than 200 protesters when they moved in to clear the site on Thursday. Even so, some defiant activists are still there and planning to stay put.
I think they will not move us because this area is for the people to tell something to the government. So I think they do not move us.
The protests erupted when Beijing said only pre-screened candidates could contest the election for a new chief executive in 2017. Protest leaders say they're now considering other forms of civil disobedience in their battle for open nominations.
Well, for the latest on this story, we can speak to our reporter Tom Grundy, who is in Hong Kong for Arise News. So, Tom, any movement in Admiralty or even in Mong Kok, or is it all quiet?
Things are quiet in Admiralty. I went round this afternoon. Roads have reopened. Quite surreal scenes, actually, after 75 days of the occupation, to see traffic now flowing at the multi-lane highway near government headquarters. There were still dozens of cleaning crews on site, and you can still see slogans such as I want true universal suffrage and we'll be back etched onto the streets and on stickers and posters everywhere. There's reports today of the 209 arrests that were made at the site yesterday. All of those people have now been released, and we've also learned that 909 people were actually ID'd as they left the cordoned area after the 2 p.m. deadline that police gave for people to leave yesterday.
You say that 909 people ID'd, 209 arrests the other day. What effect will this have on these people in the months and years to come? I mean, is that on record, and will it affect their working lives?
Well, people were very concerned about this, and it did have somewhat of a feel of Big Brother about it as folks were leaving the area and asked to present their Hong Kong ID cards. At a press conference recently, it was said that the protesters' details were retained in case police want to pursue criminal liability against them later. But there is some concern that people are being restricted from entering the mainland, having had their details taken down. And that's happened many dozens of times as young protesters and some of the student leaders have tried to enter China in light of the protests, which were running for around 2.5 months.
How much are ordinary people in Hong Kong torn between wanting universal suffrage and the aims of the protesters and also wanting to just get on with their lives?
Well, yes, of course, there's been some relief, particularly from commuters and small businesses around the area where the occupations are taking place. There's still, obviously, complaints of inconvenience, I imagine, around the shopping district of Causeway Bay, where there is a smaller annex. And last night, there were still a few dozen protesters there, but police said that probably won't be cleared until Monday at the earliest. As much as there was some frustration with the occupations, with around 80% in a recent survey saying that they wanted them to end, I would say that the notion of better representation and universal suffrage remains pretty uncontroversial in Hong Kong.
What did the protesters achieve, if anything, because Beijing didn't seem to give an inch?
Well, quite right. Not much. The student leaders themselves, the night before the clearance, admitted that their demands for Hong Kong Chief Executive CY Leung to step down and for the constitutional reform process to be restarted, neither were met at all, and the government did not budge an inch. But whatever happens, it seems that this has been the birth pangs of a new young democracy movement in Hong Kong, and they have a collection of ideas, symbols, songs, strategies that they will take forward over the coming years. The student leaders have said that they've little appetite right now for further occupations, but there may be some next year.
Tom Grundy, thanks very much indeed for joining us live in Hong Kong.